He's here.
Councilman Gray,
Here.
Councilwoman Gray,
Here.
Councilwoman Knappel,
Here.
Councilman Petty,
Here.
Councilman Warren,
Here.
City Attorney Griffin.
Here. First item on the agenda is going to be anyone here to speak on the McDonald rezoning ordinance? Okay, nobody is here.
Can I ask, what is that involved?
Daniel, tell them, it's the one where we're gonna, it's on First Avenue behind the church. They're moving it from R2 to C2. I think they're gonna increase some parking for the church. Where that white house is back there?
They're just asking to turn it commercial right there. It backs
How
up
about
to
kind of across from the bus garage?
No, it's on First Avenue.
First.
It's down here.
Oh, okay.
It's where that old house is that's,
It's down under the bridge, down on that road.
Okay.
all right. First item on the agenda is consider approval of minutes from last meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are no bills currently over, invoices over $10,000. Next item on the agenda is going to be citizens' concerns. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address, please.
Mark Schwartz, Cornwell Lane, Carthage. Are we talking about the City Hall project?
It's your time.
Okay. I spoke at the Planning Commission, again, as former architect for the City Hall in Gordonsville, Tennessee. I made a comment to the Planning Commission that this site, had I been city architect for Nashville in the past, would have never made it through the Planning Commission because of the unsuitability of the site. My question to this council today is, was there an RFQ process for this architect to provide these plans and services? Second, under Tennessee Code annotated, it requires any government entity for public works to have an RFQ process, request for qualifications. A board or council has to approve that contract. It can't be negotiated, it has to be negotiated, it can't be bid. So I guess my question to this council, was there an RFQ process to provide these services to the city? As founder of the Old Hickory Watershed Association, it's my understanding that Old Hickory Lake has a certain elevation which is under its control for flood stage, and then from that elevation, above that elevation is Corps of Engineers property. It's my recollection that this property flooded, backed up under the road from the Old Hickory Lake. So my second question to this council is this not property that was in the Old Hickory Lake watershed and also the Corps of Engineers property?
Anyone else want to speak?
My name is Fred Piper, I live on Jefferson Avenue. My concerns was somewhat the same as his, is that it's in the floodplain, and have we met the government requirements to even build on the floodplain, if you can, from the federal government itself? And the numbers that y'all have put out for this land and for the building or what have you is quite a large number, especially for the land. That makes that the highest priced piece of land in the city for what we have.
Not even close.
Well, then there's something that I haven't seen
Yeah, it's,
on that. And has the council pursued the federal permits and all this stuff that's gonna be required to build on that particular piece of land?
I'll answer that. We can't pursue it until we own it. And I have an engineer, and I just speak to every one of these concerns. The only part of the property that's gonna be in the 100-year floodplain is the back corner of the parking lot. It's not any structural part. It's gonna be in the floodplain. It's gonna be in the 500-year floodplain. But we'll discuss all that at the beginning of the meeting with the architect, or the engineer.
When you buy the property, has it got to be filled? Has it got to be land filled?
It's gotta be excavated, yes.
Okay. That's quite a bit of money for the kind of work that we gotta do for something, property y'all already own that you could build on.
I would love for you to show me which one that would be.
have to go back and look it up.
There's not one in the city that would fit on. That's not a FEMA lot where we can't build on.
Or the building that you're planning on building.
No, period. Most of the lots we own are FEMA lots that were brought back that have restrictions. You cannot build on them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, I'm Lisa Ingram. I live at 212 Fight Avenue West. I've emailed all of the council members my concerns about, and my concerns are the same as everyone else here, that's all. I just think we need voices and people. I would like an email back from the councilman. I have received emails from 2 council members. I would just like to know why you think it's a good idea to purchase this property, and I'd also like to know how much fill. I mean, it just seems like there's gonna be a lot of expense, more than $325,000. So I would just like to know that.
All that expense is included in the price of building the building. It's not, we're not gonna buy the land, pay extra to excavate it. That's included in the price of the whole building. The engineer will speak to all that. It's one
When's
inclusive.
the engineer speaking?
Just here in a little bit.
Oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are my
Yeah,
concerns, the
he has
same
all-
as everyone else, the
Right.
same as the
He
first
has
2
all those
speakers.
answers.
Okay.
Thank
all right.
you.
Thank you. I've still got almost a minute.
Come on back and talk.
You don't want me to.
I don't care. Anybody else want to speak?
I didn't mean to, but I just want to say one reminder, this is not a new thing. When the old administration came in 2019, we started looking for property. First property that they found was the old bank building where the DA's office is now. We could have gotten that for $600,000. A member of the council really ran a campaign to veto that, so we didn't buy it. Second one that we found was the old Children's Services building. We could have gotten that for $400,000. Again, that was vetoed. So now, we're saying it's okay to spend over $3 million. Somehow that just does not make sense. Everybody knows we've known this in 2019, we need more room for our police, we need more room for the offices here. Everybody in town agrees with that. What we don't agree with is, let's put it on land, and we do have a piece of property right over here on 3rd and Spring. We have a piece of property here. A really good architect, I don't know who these people are or how you got this, they could put something, 2-story building right here that would house everybody, everything you need. You got this old building, and then you make this into a great council room. There's ways to do this without $3 million. I sent you guys, our water and sewer lines here are abominable. I sent you a cross-section of Main Street. That's what we really need to spend on. We need this. We also need to spend our general fund money on.
Well, as you know, as a former mayor, this has nothing to do with water and sewer lines. That money.
No, I
So why are
understand.
you
No.
bringing that up in this conversation?
I understand that, but I'm just
And
saying.
I will explain all that in the meeting about water and sewer lines, because the false information you're putting out is causing a bunch of stir.
It's not false information. Our roads have to be, I'm not talking about the money, that comes out of your water and sewer. Once you redo those lines, you have to repave those roads. That comes out of your general fund. That's where this money is coming from. So it's not a false thing. You've got water and sewer lines to replace those lines, general funds to place, and everything you take, it's gonna take $15 million. We've already had that way a long time ago to repave these roads. Just,
Would anyone else like to speak? All right, the next item on the agenda is my report. Evan, are you out there? Sir. Could you come up here, please? Would you go over the electrical inspection that was done for the council members? We just received this right before the meeting. It wasn't done, so we don't have handouts.
So Brentford's came and looked at this. He's a commercial electrician. He came, walked through the whole building. He had 4 main concerns. He said the main electrical service is not up to date or not up to code. That would be the main coming in. There's pictures also attached to this. Lighting deficiencies throughout the building. What he's talking about there is just adequate lighting in certain areas. The absence of exit and emergency lighting, so ingress and egress, emergency lights, along with battery backups when the power goes out. And then he said there was multiple violations with the NEC code, specifically the cable being used, GFCI protection, open electrical boxes, cords, and et cetera. And he's got pictures in here. I'm sure y'all can pass it out. I sent it to y'all. I sent it to Scott and the staff here afterwards, but there's 17 pictures in here for you to. That is the summary that he gave us on the electrical here. He says it's just been piecemeal through the years.
When you say not up to code, let's talk about dangers. What danger specifically? This isn't up, this certain spot isn't up to code. What danger does it propose?
He found several places like that, so just open wires and, there's a box. So there's several items out through here, and we could itemize it if y'all need them itemized.
Just pass that around. We've got a copy of that, Evan, we'll pass it around to y'all.
Evan, is there an estimate on, not saying that we should do this or we would do this, but if we were to address the 17 pictures in there, what an estimate would be to fix all of that?
He did not provide that.
So it was just today, I understand not having it,
Yeah,
but.
but he was he was here just to get an idea of what all would need to be.
That might be something we need to look into regardless of whether we're staying here or going somewhere else.
Oh, it definitely needs to be fixed.
Yeah, what the cost would be. I don't know if this is the time to make a motion on that, but I would make a motion that we look into the price of at least how much it would cost to fix what the inspector found
I'll
To
second
update to
that.
to make this place safer for our employees.
You wanna
Hold
update to
on,
code, like,
hold on. You made a motion.
I second.
Okay.
will you tell me exactly your motion?
I'd make a motion to update, or look into the cost of updating these findings to code.
And who seconded? Was that you, Sam?
Councilman.
And is that gonna be all deficiencies, correct?
I'll just have him give a quote for what he's.
Yeah, all deficiencies, okay.
And this is just the electrical deficiencies.
Yep.
That's not concerning any environmental, because that study's not being conducted yet, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's the next item on the mayor's report. Update on hazardous materials inspection. That will be May 8th at 8 o'clock. They will be here for 8 hours. Yes. I forgot to,
Who will that be?
hold on a second.
Insight.
Getting safe?
Y'all need to vote on the motion first. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, yes, that's NSAFE that will be here on May.
INSAFE. EN. On the 8th. What time?
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 a.m.
Y'all are welcome to walk around with them. I encourage you to do so.
Got it.
Okay, I don't have an update on the demolition, but I'm gonna ask our engineer what his best estimated guess would be to tear this building down with no hazardous material mitigation.
It's all going to vary, depends on, as we talked before, it depends on what all we're going to tear down, what we're going to get down to, what they're going to find in the middle of it, and where they're going to dispose of the material. If there is, like you said, you're asking about hazardous, that's why we're waiting for the survey on Wednesday, whenever they get their report, because that's going to tell us a whole lot of what's here and how we're going to dispose of it.
What's the best case scenario if nothing was here? Just rough guess, so everybody can hear it.
It's hard, it really is hard to guess. $200,000 to $300,000 probably.
Okay.
That's the best case scenario.
That's without no hazardous materials.
That's
Because they're still going to
without bidding it out
they're still
too,
going
right?
to do dust control
Just a
and other
guess.
things when you try to.
Okay, and the
But
next item,
I did ask a question.
I'm sorry.
That would be, we'd get at least three estimates for that of.
Yeah, we
somebody
have to
turned
bid it
down.
out. We can't
Yeah,
just-
yeah,
Can't just do it.
of course, yeah, just
I'd
making
like to be
sure.
able to do it ourselves, but
Yeah, I just want to make sure, what you're saying is your guess and not
it's not.
anything
it's
based
it's
on.
not-
No, I
It's
haven't
not,
got quotes.
it's not done.
But that doesn't mean Evan's gonna do it.
Right.
Most people want, they want that report.
So they can-
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Because
seeing
it's
that.
their liability too.
Because if
turn
they start
it-
if they come in here and start mitigating, they just, anyway, it's gonna go up.
Is there a possibility, that'd be something that'd be pretty important, that we would, I don't know if everybody, how everybody feels about it, but if we did a special call after we got that?
It just depends on what we do tonight. I mean, it's whatever y'all pick it, y'all control it. If y'all have a special call after that, that's fine.
I'd at least put it on the table, we can always take it away, but I'd put
Well,
it,
let's go through the whole thing and then we'll decide if we want to have a special call.
I wanna make my motion. I wanna make a motion.
Go ahead, that's all I'm looking at you.
Yeah, I wanna make a motion that we look into, or see what a special call, good day for a special call would be anytime after Wednesday. So
Well,
we can get that information as soon as we can.
Let's wait until we get the report.
Yeah, I don't know. how
Because the
long it's
report
gonna
may
take
take 3 weeks, I don't know, that's what I'm saying,
I see what you're saying, okay.
they'll be here, but they're not gonna type up that
So
report.
we need the report in writing, and I want to see the report in writing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we're
Yeah.
not gonna just come in here
Exactly.
and guess what they say.
Right. So we'll look at doing maybe a special call. We may not need one because we may get it around the time for the next meeting. If it's 3 weeks.
true.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't tell you that right now. I don't
Okay,
know.
good.
And I'll send it out to y'all as soon as we get it.
And you see how long it took to get the electrical inspection back. I mean, they work on their own time frame. They don't work on our time frame.
Okay, good deal.
So
So are you taking that off the table?
Yeah, I'll take it off the table.
I went ahead and looked into the cost of moving the city hall into modular buildings out in the parking lot if you all decide that you want to tear this building down and rebuild here. Okay, you all have a breakdown of that, and I will tell it so everybody here knows. For Upper Cumberland Electric to drop the new lines is $6,000. For a vault in the evidence room, we had to buy 4 safes for $12,000 because you can't store evidence in well, there's 4 safes, $3,000 each.
Okay.
Are we not gonna have to buy that anyway, or do we already have one?
We have an evidence room now.
But do we have the vaults?
Yeah, we have the vault in here. But what I'm saying is if we move out of this building, we have to have that there because they can't store their evidence in an aluminum shell trailer.
Okay.
But we wouldn't be able to move what we have over there to those. We'd have to buy new ones.
No, it's attached to the building.
Yeah.
built-in.
It's not.
Oh, I see, I see.
This is just temporary fix to the.
I understand. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, I just didn't
yeah,
know
we
if it
can't
was
just take-
movable or
No,
or
it's
not. Okay,
Like
okay.
the vault in there, it's a bank vault in the building. You can't just pick it up and take it over.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Be great if we could.
Good, understood. Okay.
Okay. For the police department's computers, TBI computer stuff, $9,600. Harper Electric, see, because Upper Cumberland's gonna set poles here. Harper Electric has set poles next to the trailer and run the wires to them. $37,100. DTC to run all the phone lines, internet, and servers to all the buildings, $17,463.90.
Ask you a question.
Sure.
That $37,000 that's a big ticket right there. Is that, you're talking about that's just to take it from the pole to the building or wire the
They have
insides?
to actually set poles, run the service in, run the wire to the pole, because Upper Cumberland doesn't go any further anymore.
But and then you would wire the inside on
Yes.
top of that?
Yes.
In how many buildings?
5.
Okay, okay.
We're getting 5 buildings and 2 metal connexes, which we're gonna turn into an evidence room and a vault if planning and zoning would approve it even.
Okay.
All right, we was at 17,000 for DTC, everybody got that? Now, the modular buildings delivered, set up, and returned, $211,279. And then water sewer hookup, Derek estimated just the materials about $30,000. And I was laughing about it because it came up to $323,443.70. That's just to move us over there. That's not to tear this building down, it's not to do anything else, but just to move this operation to the parking lot.
Would be the equivalent of buying the land over there. Albeit overpriced.
Actually, it'd be cheaper.
Albeit overpriced. It's similar in price.
I mean, I don't know, I'm not a land person. I mean, I know what the house across
Got
the
two
street
of
from
them
me
over here.
selling.
Yeah.
I don't know. They
Yeah.
sell for $800,000, so it's not the most expensive piece of land.
That wasn't my claim.
I know, I'm just saying. So that's where we're at on that. Y'all tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it.
I would like to see an estimate directly for filling the land to get it above flood zone. And I disagree with you that we cannot start finding out from FEMA what we can do. There's no sense in buying a piece of property and then finding out that FEMA's not gonna let us do it.
So you can't
I-
submit anything to FEMA until
Right,
you
we
have a
can't
plan.
submit the plans until we say, yes, these plans are for this property, we're buying this property. And without you saying we can buy the property, we can't submit the plans.
Well,
But here, let
we're
me-
voting on blindly on this.
No, we're not. We're
Yeah,
not.
we are.
Here, let me read these questions off to the engineer, and it'll help you understand. In your professional opinion, is the land on Upper Ferry Road the best option out of all the lots that I've showed you, all the lots the city owns?
What is this?
These are my questions.
Your questions to
Him. Yeah, I
to
typed
Evan?
them up.
Okay, I just didn't know who it
I didn't
was.
want to forget any of this.
Okay.
I'm getting older, you know.
As far as the FEMA lots go, y'all own those down there that I was aware of that has a lighthouse on it or whatever, that doesn't have enough footprint.
But we don't own it.
We don't own the lighthouse.
No, that was a misnomer for 39 years. It's
Okay.
actually core property.
It's actually a pumping station.
Well, the only
This-
other one is the one with the county that we've done some
Right.
preliminary engineering as far as looking into the soils and stuff, and it's gonna have to be excavated down 5 feet at least.
In your opinion, would the preparation of the site in front of the Turner Building be more than the site on Upper Ferry?
Would Turner's cost more?
In front of the Turner Building would cost more.
Yes.
Turner's not even on the table anymore.
No, I'm
though,
just
right?
saying, we looked at all.
We looked at it.
We're looking at.
But it's not available to
No,
us.
it's off the table.
Okay, okay.
And the lot you were talking about, not the one that has the lighthouse on it, but the other one that we do in fact own, we talked about the grading issue, because you could not grade enough to fill.
It's a floodway.
Yeah, it's not a flood.
There's
Right.
not-
I just want
Nothing
everybody to
floodway.
understand the
If we're not,
grading issue.
if we're not gonna get Upper Ferry, we certainly shouldn't be looking over there.
Well, I'm just.
If we're talking about flooding being our reason not
No,
to
no,
get, that's
no.
not it.
The one on the other side is the one that, there's not enough to grade. There's just not.
There's not enough dirt to take out to make it work.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get everybody's concerns about where have we looked, what have we looked at, and what are we doing at the best cost. Do you see any complications to that building site to include geographical issues, sinkholes, flooding, excavations to site to build a firm foundation there?
Everything has challenges at this day and time. Most of your good lots are gone. Geotech will come in and they will advise us on how to design it. Our preliminary that we give you was to bring it to a 500-year flood elevation on the finished floor. With that, you will have a retaining wall in the rear of the building, and we will be building up the lot. When you build up the lot, whatever you build up in the 100-year, we have to take out. So there's extra area that's been part of the land that could be excavated out to make up the volume difference. You have to take these calculations and send them to FEMA, and that's what they're gonna review as far as being allowed to build it, along with all the other criteria you have to meet. But we can't, you have to have a fully set of engineered documents to go to FEMA before they'll even review it and approve it. So they won't, we can't just call down there and say, can we build here?
Right.
They're
It'll
not
be
gonna
like
tell us.
Mr. Funny.
So yes, you are kindly blindly having to buy something with the hopes that FEMA will approve it.
So with that, my question would be, what would our backup plan be? If we buy this, say we all say yes and we get it, we go to FEMA and FEMA says absolutely not. What do we do? And if there's not an answer, well, there's not an answer,
Well,
but
I mean, the only answer I'd have for you is. we'd
Try to sell it?
Surplus it and sell it. I mean, that'd be the only answer we'd have.
it'd be a tough sell.
It sure
'Cause
would be.
I don't think it would.
It would be a publicly acknowledged that this thing cannot be built on according to, or at least what we want to build on it.
And once FEMA makes their move, it sticks with the property.
Then
Okay.
we make it into a park. But maybe we could do something with it. Go ahead, Scott.
Evan, why would this property be any different from anything else that's built on Upper Ferry Road if we were to fix the land,
It would-
as they have done?
It would not be any different. However, the FEMA flood maps changed in 2010. So a lot of that stuff that was built down there was prior to 2010. So now you're dealing with a little bit more flood elevation than what they had there, but still.
Well, I think he's talking about like the Taco Bell that was just built.
Sure.
The Dollar Tree that was built, the DCS building that was just built, the bank that was just built.
That's correct. You just
Yeah.
build it up.
That's it.
You gotta prove your volumes.
Do you have, I know you don't have a yes or no, you're not FEMA, but do you have a suggestion on which way they would go if we presented it to them? I know you can't give a, you may not even want to say yes or no, but what you think they would say? Or likely, what's our probability of them saying yes, go ahead and build it?
As long as you can back up the calculations, they reviewed it and you fit all their other criteria, then
Can we do that, in your opinion?
in the opinion we got and what we've got provided so far, it's a doable project and a lot. The surveyor's gotta go out there and actually, give us certified elevations on the lot with the topo and figure out where that the 100-year that y'all see is from the FEMA flood maps itself. It's overlaid. So they actually have to establish it in the field.
And y'all got a copy of that in your thing, and you'll see where it cuts across the back corner of the parking lot. Now, the 500-year floodplain is where the building is going to be built, the actual structure.
But the parking lot is still gonna
No.
be, but,
It's not time for you to speak, no.
but the parking lot will also be built up to where there shouldn't be water that gets on it?
It'll have to be built up above that, but I'm saying that's the only section that we're gonna build up in the 100-year floodplain is the parking lot. It's not gonna stay down there.
Yeah,
But I'm saying that's where it's running right now. That's the only part of it.
This may be a little bit out of sequence to mention this, but I've had a couple of citizens ask, do we have to build the city hall inside the city limits?
Yes.
Okay. I just didn't know what to tell them.
I'm thinking, Miami Beach would be nice.
Yeah, as long as y'all pay for the trip down there for the meeting.
There you go. No. In today's average cost of construction per square foot for a commercial building, what is today's cost?
Lafayette Macon County just bid one out. It was right at $400 a square foot.
$400 a square foot.
That's for their administration building.
So what size building would a $1 million fee get you? About 1,600 or so square feet?
You should be anywhere right now from $300 to $400 a square foot. I know $100 is a big swing, but.
I mean, that's just, everything's cost more now. I mean, that's just, everybody knows that.
And I'm not sure if Upland didn't give you like $350 a square foot.
Yeah, they gave us a good price.
So, I mean, that's in between that.
Right.
That's what the bids are coming in at today's time.
And that property that's over there in front of the fire hall, could you build a building on there suitable for a police administration and a town hall?
No. I didn't even say that.
I'm not talking to you, Ms. Smith.
Not a building, but you could probably use it for overflow parking.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for the engineer? It's not, you had your turn to speak in citizens' concerns, but thank you for interjecting. Okay. Thank you, Evan. Thank you. Next is committee reports. Scott, you want to go first?
Why, sure. So I wanted to give you an update about federal funding within the last 3 weeks, 2 weeks actually. The federal funds have now moved down to state organizations. So in the last week, we received a letter from Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation that they will now consider the SRF state revolving fund loans that have been applied for on the priority ranking list. The only one that they have approved for submission at this point is the clean water, that's sewer lines, and we've responded to that, and so now it'll be a 3-4 month process at least, because they're way behind on everything, before we know exactly if they approve the state revolving fund loan for the sewer lines, okay? Then the drinking water, we haven't heard back from the state yet as to what they're doing with the priority ranking list. So everything that can be done is being done, okay? And I just want to remind you that these SRF loans, should they be awarded and we use them to 100%, that will maximize our ability. That's the most loan we can afford to work with, okay? Wouldn't matter if you were able to apply for $100 million. We can't afford that, okay? All we can pay on is $7.5 million with our present rate structure. Okay, so we're making use of what's available to us as it becomes available. Okay, federal funds from the Corps of Engineer for the bank stabilization project. Last evening, we received a email from the Corps of Engineers, and they said, okay, we have finally received federal funding, and the money has moved down. So we have some more decisions to make, as you folks got some more decisions to make. But one of the questions that comes to me that I have to sign on as a finance officer is, are we physically solvent enough to do that project? So Mayor and I will be working on some things, and probably coming back to you at a future date to talk about the stabilization project. Okay, our share of that project will be about $860,000. Okay, that's our money coming from whatever sources we get it from. Okay, so we have a contract with the town of South Carthage, but their contract expires before this project comes. They were supposed to pay a third of that. Okay, so that's in flux right now. So in any case, just letting you know, the federal funds are now starting to flow some, but I've been at this long enough to know it's glacial, and it'll start sometime in the next millennium. Okay, but we're on top of it. We've done everything we can do in respect to that. Okay, I wanted to highlight a few things on the financial statements because we're getting close to the end of the fiscal year, and wanted to answer a couple of questions that came up last council meeting. You have the handout. If you look to page 2, please. I just want to highlight to you the 2023 current year property tax receivable is $15,926, which is better than anything I've seen in 3 years, meaning that we collected most of the property tax that was due in. So that's a good thing.
What does
Just to let you know.
What does that mean, most? Is there a percentage that we didn't?
You can kind of get an idea. The figure right above that says 9,800.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's prior years, the last 10 years, that's what's not been collected. That used to be a whole lot more, but thanks to Ms. Gold, she's got us in as good a shape as we've been, at least in my town. Okay. All right, so that's good news. We like good news. All right, I want to, if you would please, turn to page 3. Okay, this is the general fund. And I highlighted for you a few things. The question had come up about our percentage of property taxes versus sales tax. I emphasized last time that we are funded primarily from sales tax. Okay, but you can see for property taxes we've collected for the past year $560,617. Okay, so that's just the figure, and that'll be, we'll get some more through the year. Probably won't be the full amount. But if you come down to the next line where it's highlighted county and town local option sales, if you'll see the $1,473,547. Okay, that's sales tax plus, if you look on down to the next highlighted line, this is what comes from the county. The county collects it and they distribute it by a percentage to us. So right now we're about $1.6 million of total sales tax. That'll equate to about 49% plus of our tax revenue. That's where the state of Tennessee gets tax revenue primarily, and that's where we get it. Okay, so I just want you to be cognizant of that. The next thing that I wanted to highlight for you is page 4, and this is totally up to you. I brought it up 2 years ago, but currently we own some cemeteries, and we have one that has actively sold lots, and those lots are $300 a piece. If you go to the funeral homes, they're normally $600, $700, $800 or more. We have a considerable number of lots. There was a statement that said, well, there's not many left there. So I went to the funeral home to find out what's the actual figures. And I was told it was well over 100 lots still left. So that might be something to think about, just to become market equal, I guess, but that's up to you. I just highlight it as an item. It's not going to be a lot of revenue, but it is something that's something that's there. Okay, if you look to page 5.
Can I ask you a question about that before we move?
Sure.
The cemetery deeds. So, if we moved it closer to what the funeral homes are charging, if we're not all the way to that, for a little under, is it possible that we could approach the funeral homes and say we would sell them at that rate, and then they could make some money off of that? We sell all of them at one time.
We've already done that,
I've tried
they're not
that.
interested.
They're not in. Okay. Just an idea.
They're not mine.
But it's a good idea, though.
Good minds
okay?
think alike.
Yeah,
Okay.
very good. So if you come down to, on page 5, the highlighted item, Tyler ERP software implementation, just giving you an update on that, because it is a larger line item. We are now in stage 2, the very beginnings of stage 2 of that implementation. We will implement the accounting and finance modules first, utility billing and property tax, and that'll happen over the next several months. We're taking our time with it and making sure we got everything right and all the data converted, everything there. And then once we have those done, we'll enter into phase 2, and that'll be where we start to expand to the other departments, and everything will integrate together. But we'll cross that bridge once we get to it. We'll get past this bridge first. But just giving you an update that it's started, and we're started paying money on that. Page 10. And you'll go over this this evening, but I just wanted to show you what the end result of the actions that have been taken based on recommendations. You know, we've not asked for any new monies and appropriations to do the pickleball and tennis courts. What we did was, and you'll see this in your handouts, we are allowed within the same department, okay, to move monies, because we're not asking for new monies. If you ask for new monies to increase your budget, you have to do a budget amendment. That's not what we have done. We've simply moved monies from a line item to a new line item within the same department, which the Tennessee Code annotated lets us do. However, we've tried to be above board and tried to be as transparent as possible, put that in documents so that you see that recorded in the minutes, and you'll see exactly what's been done, but that's what that looks like. And that project has started, the pickleball.
That is correct. The pickleball and Spring Street basketball courts have been started. Their estimated completion is, I believe, somewhere mid-June, because they have to let the concrete cure for 30 days before they can fix it. But this basketball court on Spring Street should be done pretty quickly. They're on top of it.
And then I would just reiterate what I've been trying to reiterate. If somebody wants to know finances and wants to know exactly what the town's doing in terms of finances, don't talk to anybody else. Come to the head of the stream. Come to the council, the mayor, myself, and we'll answer the questions and show you the supporting documentation. You don't have to theorize. You don't have to. When I was in public accounting, I found that people would take tax advice from the Kroger guy that bagged their groceries if it sounded like what they wanted to hear. Okay? What I'm saying is, go to the head of the stream and get the actual data, and it's good. We want questions. That's what we want. But come to the head of the stream and get the actual facts.
And I'll add to that, my door is never shut. I will not shut my door. If you show up here and I'm not here, they will call me, and I will come in to talk to anybody, anytime, about any issue. It does not matter. If I'm an hour away, I say, I tell them I'll be there in an hour and a half. I'll come back and talk to anybody in the public, anybody that wants to come in and sit down and get firsthand information instead of Facebook information. All right. Any other committees have reports? Streets, sewer? No? All right. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. First one is the purchase of property on Upper Ferry Road.
Motion to discuss.
Second.
Any, all in favor?
So I was brought an idea, don't know if it's doable or not, but I'm gonna bring it to the council and see what you think. One thing that I've heard about building here is that we don't have enough space because which was a great idea, I think, to build that building over there, that was needed. There's a possibility of integrating it into the new building. So possibly looking into doing, instead of the brick, which is beautiful, obviously, I mean, the brick and all this, you know, but if we just did cost effective, which is what we should do with taxpayer money anyway, because it's not ours, and integrated that into the building that's there now, one big metal building, it could be 2 stories high if we wanted it to be, and then took over this area. Maybe there might be, we'd have to look at engineering to be able to wrap around, somebody to drive around, parking as well. I do think Third and Spring would be good for overflow parking as an option. But just as another option, I think we need multiple options, not just to be pigeonholed to 1 or 2. Keep being asked, you know, what are the other options? I think that's one. Because those pole barns, it's easy to.
Let's understand exactly what we're talking about though.
Okay.
You're wanting to put another pole barn in front of that pole barn.
Nope. I want one, and I'm not saying I want this.
I'm just saying what
I am saying it now, but that's not what I mean. What I'm suggesting is the possibility of integrating that, taking a building that we have already right there, tearing this down, and then adding on to making one flow building, making it all look the same. And
Okay, and my question would be, where are you gonna park the equipment that we just invested in?
my answer would be, we need to look into that.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't have all the answers,
I'm
but
just
it's
saying,
another
there's a
option
lot
to
that
look
goes
at.
into that, and trust me.
Sure.
I would love to find a place that's very economical and cheap to buy and move everybody there. We haven't found one. I've looked at a lot of properties.
I'm just suggesting.
I know, I'm saying, but, and to do that, we had to, you got a metal building.
Yep.
You can cut through a metal building with a saw. We have to worry about the evidence room and the vault and the security of the police department. All that has to.
That's
go
the
into-
engineer's job to worry about, not
I'm
mine.
just saying that goes into part of the building and makes it more expensive. It's not
Sure.
just, not just simple as putting that building up.
I'm not saying that it would be cheaper or the same as Upper Ferry, but we already own it. We're not purchasing residential property as a government organization, and we're making use of what we've already got. It's an option to make use of what we've already got.
Well, I agree, it's an option, yes.
So that would be my suggestion, is to, I don't know if you need a motion for that or not, but I would like to look into, an engineer looking into building on, adding on to that, integrating with it, not a separate building, one big building, starting from there. And looking into if we can make parking work, if we can make a wraparound, drive-through work. And if we want to make it 2 stories high, make it 2 stories high. But look into the cost of building a metal pole barn style.
Well, I can
City
tell
Hall,
you, you
right
can't
here.
go 2 stories,
Why can't you?
because it has to be ADA compliant, you have to have an elevator. I don't know if a pole barn will support an elevator.
Might be an added cost, but.
That's what I'm saying, I don't know if
yeah.
it will, and I'm saying, I don't think you can go 2 stories in a metal building, but. And I need someone to design this, so I can tell them what we're looking for. How much do you want to pay to get it designed?
How much did we pay for the last one? The one
Are you
up
saying
here?
attach it to that?
What was that, the
building?
architect's?
Make it one building.
That
How
takes
much
away
did we
one
pay
of
for
their
that?
entrance doors.
I think it's like
to their
69, I don't know
building.
exactly, I was looking Scott for the exact figure.
Everything would be re-examined though. It would be
30,000?
one big building.
30,000.
We'd have
Approved by
to
the council.
Yeah, y'all approved it.
redo doors everywhere. You have to add a door somewhere. If that even stayed what it is now. I mean, it could be integrated into something else for that area of the building. Again, just an option, guys.
Would we save money if we tore the building down and built it over there than built another building? Would it be any cheaper? I mean, it's cheap, but they got
don't
that
know.
built.
I don't have those answers until you tell me
Well,
what you want me to do.
the
I'll be
only
happy to
thing-
do whatever you want.
The only thing we might be saving would be the cost of the property, but we would probably invest that into tearing this building down. That's what we've been saying all
maybe.
along.
So you need a second.
No, we're in, he got a
We're
second
just
for
in
discussion.
Just need to vote.
Are we done discussing? Are we done discussing that option?
Purchase the property, if you purchase the property, I'm up fairly, talking about $325,000, right?
Right.
Okay.
For how much land?
1 point, what was it? Again, it should be all on your paperwork there you have with the building.
Something like 1.43 acres.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
But
But
usable,
if we build here,
more like one.
it'll be
The contract that I read said we're paying the lady $300,000 for the land.
And then the 25,000 will go towards closing costs that we put in earnest money.
We never should have paid both sides closing costs either.
We're not paying both sides, that's,
That's what the contract says.
did it say that?
I don't have it
I didn't
in
read it
front
that
of
way, I didn't look at it that way, but.
It does. But then we're looking at probably another $200,000 filling in the hole.
And that's all, that was all incorporated in that original price, the
Of-
excavation of the site.
3 point,
Yeah, and that's,
something.
and that was estimated very highly, because we didn't know what construction costs were gonna be. I would say it will come in under that, but I'm not the one building it, I don't know.
but you're saying it's totally encapsulated.
If you say, hey, I want this building put there, it includes the excavation, it includes the sewer, you walk in, the building's done. There's no extra additional cost to get the site ready.
Pat, I didn't mean, or
No,
Councilman, I didn't mean
I
to
was,
cut you off.
I was trying to wrap my head around some of these numbers. Because here's the thing, if that environmental study comes back, we're already sitting at a fire hazard right now, based on what we just looked at. That concerns me heavily. Because we got a lot of great people working this building, all right? Second of all, when that environmental report comes back, and I don't know what's gonna say, but if it comes back and says, you know what? You've got so many days to get out of that building.
We gotta move.
We gotta move. So if we do that, we're gonna have to find something temporary, which means you're looking at a cost of $323,443. We're gonna pay that no matter what. We gotta go somewhere. That's the only option we got right now.
And it sounds like, to me, even if we do buy the land over there and build it, if the reports come back, we still gotta go here, where that money is being spent regardless.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm coming at. And then you've got, and if you had those hazardous materials here, you're gonna tearing it down. You got to. You can't
leave it.
You
So,
can't
I
leave
mean,
it.
I just need to tell you what y'all want me to do. That's all I'm asking.
That was my big thing anyway, though, at the
Mhm.
last meeting, was if you're gonna spend the money anyway to tear this down, it's already in the cost. You know, you're already spending
But
it.
if nobody's occupying the building, you don't have to tear it down. There's no
You
requirement.
don't have to, but the right thing to do is to tear it
I
down.
was fixing to say.
I'm saying if you plan on renting it out or putting people in it, yeah, but if you're not putting people in it, you don't have to. I would recommend to do it, because it
course.
would make more parking for the citizens
Yes.
up on Main Street. But I mean, I'm saying, it's not, if you voted to say, hey, we're not gonna do it, we don't have to, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. So where are we at?
We're in a motion to discuss, if y'all done discussing,
On my motion,
yeah, you're.
to look into the cost of doing
yeah,
the metal
and
building here?
That was the only discussion.
Okay.
Or do we need to know what that would cost before? Do you want to know what that costs before we go ahead and say, yes, let's have an engineer?
I think if we move forward
plan.
here and say, we're gonna look into the cost, I think we might as well, I think we're making the decision unofficially to cut loose on the land over there, because we can't hold them forever.
I won't extend the contract again. I mean,
Yeah.
because we keep going back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth, back and forth.
But even unofficially, we're kinda telling them, we're kinda wasting your time, because we're looking at other options.
Man, it's up to them, they're the owners, I mean,
Yeah, I'm just talking about what
I
the
can't make
message
them
we're
say, I
sending.
can't make them leave, so.
Yeah. So I do wanna look into the cost of it. I'm not
Here, I'll
on
make
board
it-
with Upper
or
Ferry,
You know what
so
your motion, I'll
that's-
make it easy.
My motion's already been
I
made.
make a motion that we purchase the land on Upper Ferry Road,
Hold on.
My motion's already on the table.
to find the cost.
Yeah.
I'm
But it
making
hasn't-
another motion to
it-
purchase
It
the land.
hasn't been voted on.
It hasn't been seconded either.
Okay.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
just
Sam
kind of a
seconded.
discussion.
I second it.
He discussed,
He
he
did for
seconded for discussion
discussion.
Okay.
I'm seconding to
to look into the cost.
look into
Okay.
So that has to be voted on.
Okay.
So you
All
made
in
a motion. to
Can we do a roll call on that? Sorry.
You made the motion to look into the cost.
Of doing metal pole barn style attaching to what we've got over there
Okay.
on this lot. Which would include a temporary, the cost we're gonna have to pay anyway. That would have to be inside of that
If-
number.
I'll second that. If I hadn't already seconded it.
All right, well, that's been seconded,
Yeah.
and
Can we-
I'm
can we
asking for a
set
roll call, please.
number?
What's
How
that?
much money do you want to spend on checking on that?
To find out?
Yeah.
That's hard to That's hard to say.
You have to give me a number.
I guess I would amend the motion then and say, to know what the cost is to look into it. I mean, if we're gonna spend, I'm sorry to waste your time, I'm just telling you, I'm not
Well,
gonna
I'm
blindly
saying-
vote on spending $50,000 to look into the cost.
I get it, but I can't make a move without you telling me what to do. Say, if you want me to call someone, say, how much
Well, I'm
is it gonna
trying to
cost
tell you
come
to
tell me do
amend
this?
I'm telling you to amend, that I'm gonna amend my motion.
And I'll second
To
that
find out
amendment.
the cost.
Wait, listen, you want me to call, I'm trying to make sure I understand what you're saying. So you want me to call and say, okay, how much is it gonna cost? And come back down and say, this is what's gonna cost?
To look into it.
That's what I'm asking.
And then we're gonna make a decision on how, if we're gonna move forward with that, and if so, then
okay,
we
so
look into
first-
the cost of it.
Okay, I got it. Now I understand what you want me to do. I
Okay.
need to know what I'm doing before we do it.
I got you.
And how long do we have on our contract?
If we don't vote on it tonight, it's over. June 7th is the deadline. I'm not gonna keep stringing them along. Do you have a dimensions you're looking at, or size, or?
No, I mean, it would be an engineer coming up with a plan so that it fits most of what we want, which would be the elevator if possible. I think it would be an added cost, but I think you can definitely put an elevator in a metal building. And to be able to engineer it to where people could drive around and
You
still
want a
have the
drive-through.
drive-through, yeah.
Do you want a drive-through?
Yeah.
Basically about the same size building that's gonna be to hold all the office space that we need, to include the dispatch and all that good stuff?
That, I'm not an engineer. I wouldn't be able to draw it up, but
I'm not
yes,
asking you, Joe, I'm saying about the same square footage is what I'm saying, because that's what the square
That
footage
was
we measured.
proposed.
That's bare
the
bones.
same, I thought you meant the same square footage of what's
No,
sitting over there. I was like, no, I don't think so.
That's 9,300 square feet. And that was bare bones, smalls, I mean, that was cut in every corner.
If that's what we came up
That
with.
addresses our needs, correct?
Completely, yes, that's what I'm saying, if that's what you wanted, I'll put that down. 9,300 square feet, what it costs to build the building, 9,300 square feet.
Okay,
But they're gonna ask me these questions, that's why I'm asking them.
yeah.
Because they come back and say, I'll put you a metal building out there for $500. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that's sarcastic, but I mean, I need to know kind of dimensions and what you're looking, go ahead, Scott.
Is there any value in saying this motion up to a certain amount? We will have to go out, we don't have to, but we will request the qualifications to do this, okay, on proposals. I mean, it's gonna be $50,000 or $30,000 to do this.
To draw the plans.
Yes, to give us that thought process and to do this, they don't come cheap.
But if we go with the plan that we've already got right there, I mean, that's what we're asking them. I mean, we wouldn't have to spend another $50,000 to come up with a new
They'll
plan,
have to
right?
redraw it into the structure that you are wanting, the metal structure. They
As far
can't
as
use.
attaching it to the building.
Yeah, they can't use the same plans as that in a metal building because you wanted to kind of meld in with that building.
Yeah, it wouldn't be exactly the same, but you got a starting point. They're not starting from scratch, is what I'm saying.
I don't run their business, I don't know what they're gonna charge, I'm being honest, I don't know.
Well, I've done that a time or two, and I'm just saying, you don't pay the full price whenever you have a footprint already started with, yeah. Regardless, no, I don't think that we need to have a certain amount, because that's what we're gonna come back and discuss. I mean, I'm making the motion to look into how much it would cost
Let's just make it
to have
simple. You
somebody
tell
look
me what
into
size building you
it, so
want,
that
what
then
you
we
wanna
can come
pay
back
for.
and say if we're gonna do it or not.
Are you asking what the engineering cost would be to
To
design
design the
it?
building.
Yes.
So, and you're gonna go with the same square, I'm saying, just give me the square footage, because they go by that. So tell me what you want, 9,300 square feet?
If that's what you came up with, that cut every corner that we could.
Well, I didn't, the engineers and architects came up with that, I didn't come up with that.
Well, do we have a different size lot though to do this? I mean, won't that play
This is
into,
what we got right here. It has to fit.
compared to Upper Ferry, it's gonna be a whole different layout.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what the.
I'll say it's
possibilities-
1.4 over there, what do we have to work with here? I guess I think is what you're asking.
I think it's about 1.28.
So similar.
And don't hold me to that, but
Sure.
that's about right.
But yeah, I mean, the square footage, I guess, would be the same. It would just be drawn differently to integrate what we've already got over there, to attach to the building that's already there.
I'm good.
Okay? Can we do a roll call on it?
So this is just to get the cost for engineering?
Yes, just cost, what it's gonna cost to build the building.
Vice Mayor Peters,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Knappel,
No,
Councilman Petty,
Yes.
Councilman Warren.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-1.
Do you have any idea how long it would take to get that information?
No,
Or even somebody to do it?
no, we've been working on the,
90 days.
Yeah,
Take
3
3
months.
days to get it out to everybody to bid on it.
I mean, it's just, and if they get on it right on time, I don't know. I mean, we're still waiting on the environmental study we've been working on for 3 months. If we work at their time frame, then we can't just say, hey, come here this time and do it, so I don't know. I'd be lying if I told you, Scott, 90 days, 90 days. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we purchase the property up at Fair Hill. Dies for lack of second. I'm gonna make another motion that we table the purchase of Upper Ferry Road permanently.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is there a need to do that, since we still have another month on the contract?
We'll never be able to get it closed in time. It'd be impossible. Because I'll never have this stuff that y'all want on the metal building back in a month, so I can't. I mean, we may have the hazardous inspection back by then, but we ain't gonna have with the plans for the new building by then. So, I mean, there's no sense keep stringing this along. If y'all don't wanna do it, just tell me, we'll just get off there and move on to something else.
Well, we have a contract. I don't think it's gonna hurt anything to gather more information and see what happens.
But I'm saying, we're not gonna go to close on the 7th of June, I know that, because the one you just voted on will not be here in time to look at it before the 7th of June.
You need to check with a realtor, and I can't be the one, about if you terminate a contract before the contract runs out, we could be liable for the
25.
escrow.
I understand that. I didn't say terminate the contract. I said table it off the agenda permanently.
Okay.
And our contract reads, if the council does not approve, we get full refund on our escrow. All I'm saying is we don't need to keep putting it back on the agenda if we're not gonna talk about it.
Agreed. Got a second?
I'm not sure that one negates the other. Why would that negate purchasing the property or waiting
Well,
till
I
the
mean, I made a
contract is
motion
over?
to purchase it. I didn't get a second, so obviously it's not happening, so we need to just move on. That's my opinion.
That lady has owned that property for a long, long time. The chances of somebody coming in there and grabbing it out from under us, it could happen, but it's not likely to happen till we get this other in place.
That's what, all I'm saying is take it off. We don't need to bring it back next month on the agenda again, is what I'm saying.
You're gonna let the contract run its way through.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
You're
cancel
We're
the
just not gonna
contract.
talk about
And
this
if it's-
next month.
There's no sense in it, yes. That's all I'm saying.
Call the question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's move on to something even happier. How about lamp posts?
I like them.
You like them?
But I don't like the ones that are up there right now.
We got too many of
You
them.
do or you
Too
don't?
many and they're ugly.
Let's go with the motion. How
And they're
about
not
that?
safe.
I'll make a motion that we look into other lamp posts, including the lamp post itself and, the number of them.
No, didn't we do that last?
Yes, we
meeting?
did.
Right.
We were supposed to bring
We're
ideas.
supposed to, this
This
meeting was
month,
to
I
say,
don't
okay,
have
I
any
looked at this
ideas.
one, I like the idea of putting real gas lamps out there. I like the idea of putting one bulb instead of
So
5 bulbs.
does anybody have any ideas that they brought to the table? Because I
I
did.
didn't print it off. So I'm guilty.
Me too.
I make a motion that we look into adding the gas lamp posts, but a lot fewer quantity. I don't know what the number is, but that's why there's more than one person here.
My thought is about every other one needs to go.
And how many is right now? Like 26, 23? There's a
How
bunch.
many lamp posts is there?
35.
There's 35 of them now.
I did have a citizen that figured that cost and said, let's just do away with lamp posts and save the taxpayers money. I'm just bringing, I didn't say it, but I did have,
Only look into the cost of
Citizen.
15.
15 gas lamp posts.
well, do they have to
Pretty-
be even
pretty
on each
ones.
side?
Are
Pretty
we-
ones.
Pretty ones.
Are we in what phase of Main Street USA or Tennessee downtowns are we in?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Do we have any concerns about safety in regards
Well,
to
that's-
gas lamp posts?
Chief.
If somebody hits one, you don't have a gas leak then?
Yep.
Think about this, guys. They're already getting hit now. You're gonna put gas ones up and somebody accidentally hits one, then you're gonna have a gas leak. Then we're gonna have to block everything off. You're gonna have to call the gas company to come up there. Not saying they don't look pretty, but if you're not gonna put them in a secure area, guess what? That's a stupid idea. I'm sorry.
You gotta cut the sidewalks up and put the gas line in.
How do you feel?
I just don't wanna have to deal with gas leaks. The other ones
Most
say
things
no.
now look just like a gas.
Bigger.
Yeah, they got that little.
You put the
just
bulb
like-
in there that flickers.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not gonna hurt my feelings whether it's gas or electric. That's been brought to me. I was gonna bring it up. I don't care if they're gas or electric.
Well, I just think we need to hear their end of it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
again,
for sure.
That's putting all the information.
Okay, let's come back together and let's move on.
I still think we need to look at some designs and then decide.
Why don't we table this again and somebody bring some designs next month?
I'll do my best to print some out.
Okay, hold on. Are you gonna retract your motion?
I'm going to amend my motion
Okay.
to say that we bring plans, at least options, to the next meeting of electric poles.
Are you sure you wanna amend that then? Because now you're gonna vote on two.
Well, let's just scratch it
Okay.
and do the new one. Do the new one, but the last one.
Gotcha.
I have a question. Are each pole donated by a family?
Yes. Well, yes. Paid for by them. Yeah.
Okay, so if
They've
we
got little
do
plaques.
away with more than half, what are we gonna do with the people that bought them in memory of someone?
Put them on a beautiful plaque and put them out here in the hallway.
Or take them further out Main Street.
Do you still wanna do 15?
Or maybe give them the option if they
I
wanted
don't
plaque or
think we
put
need to
on
set a
somewhere
number
else
yet.
in the city,
Well,
that
we
way
see
maybe a
what-
park
what
bench.
rides out.
That's
Put them on a park bench or something.
I agree.
I do.
I agree with Councilman Knappel too. She said that we probably shouldn't set a number at 15 or whatever until we know what the costs are of what we're looking at. So I would retract that part of it too, or make a new motion, I'm sorry, but.
That's okay.
And what's gonna line up
Right,
together.
because you wouldn't, I would assume you'd want an even number.
Okay, you tell me what you want.
Make a motion that we bring plans, bring options next meeting for electric lamp posts with no number involved until we know how much they are.
I'll second that.
Thank you, sir.
All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed? All right, we're on to new business. The first item on new business is going to be the second reading of planning ordinance regarding rezoning of First Avenue West and McDonald property. It's P 202-404-111-2.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 2 will be scratched from the list because we're not buying the property at Upper Ferry. Item number 3, I would like to make a motion to send this section of property to the planning commission to deem it surplus. It's 6 or 12 feet behind the old Carter Hardware building and between the fire department. It's just that strip right there. We've got some possible development that may happen and it's not really, we're not going to cut grass on it.
Is that right here? Is that,
No, that's not it. It's the one right behind the fire department on the hill there.
Well, the city has to declare it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, declare it surplus and then move it to the planning commission for the next phase.
but I'm saying on this, I'm
It's
I'm
not
That's not
looking
it,
at
that's
this.
not the same one. That's that lot
Between
over
Carter
there,
Hardware and the fire department.
that little grass
Okay.
section there.
Yeah.
So just voting to send it to the planning?
Voting to make it surplus, then send it to planning commission to do everything we can do with it, and then we'll put it out for general bid for the public.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Budget revision on the general fund for pool repair, park improvements, pickleball, basketball courts, and fencing. That's the one that Scott told you about. We moved it within the same line item. We just wanted you to know that we moved the money. Alrighty. Now, the next one is the first reading of the budget for this year. Now, we talked about all the charitable contributions earlier. All we need from you is a number to put in the budget.
$30,000.
That's what the first reading of the ordinance has now, is $30,000.
Yes, the first reading has $30,000. If you want to change it, it has to be,
So yours would be to approve.
I make
it
a
as
motion
is.
to approve it as is.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, I'm gonna do a roll call. I forgot. Money. It's been one of them days.
Vice Mayor Peters,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gray,
Yes.
Councilwoman Knappel,
No.
Councilman Petty,
No.
Councilman Warren.
Yes.
Motion passes. That's the last item on the agenda.
Before we dismiss, is there anything else we need to do as far as moving that money around into where we would put it, or it just stays the same as last year?
It stayed the same as last year, and then we, you know.
We don't increase or decrease anybody?
You can tell, like, next meeting, you say, hey, I want to pay the chamber all, whatever, you have to agree on that. But
Right now, our budget ordinance has $30,000 for 501c3 and the city. Theoretically, technically, you could tell me not to disperse it until June 30th of 2025, and then tell me who to send it to.
So when do we make that decision?
It's whenever you want to.
Whenever you guys.
It's the same, it's up to y'all to make the decision.
Can I add an agenda item, I guess would be to the agenda tonight, and just get it done with? Is there anything wrong with that?
It's up to y'all.
Make a motion.
Could we have
added.
some time to think about that? And we have a second reading.
No, that's not a problem. But I'm saying, make your motion.
Make a motion to add an agenda item to talk about it.
Okay, is there a second? There's a second. What's the discussion on the agenda, on the agenda? What do you want to add to the
You want to
agenda?
ask if y'all want to pay for it?
No. They may not be in favor of what he's adding.
About how the 30,000 is distributed.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I got a question for clarification for my little feeble mind.
You ain't alone.
I thought we voted in, well, okay, I say, well, all right, I understand that, but before y'all voted in to leave it at 30,000, never mind.
Yes.
Are we
Say-
all in favor?
Of the adding the agenda item. We've got 5 yays and we're waiting on them.
I
No,
just
if we have-
do it.
That's okay either way.
Yes.
So, all right, now we're discussing it.
So I would want to make a motion that we do away with the 12,000 we sent to UCHRA for water bills and distribute that evenly between the library, EMS, and Senior Citizen Center, which would make the library receive $10,000 instead of 6, EMS 7,000 instead of 3, and Senior Citizens Center 6,000 instead of 2,000. That'd be my motion.
Do I hear a second? Motion dies for lack of second. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in
It's the
favor?
longest call we've ever had.
I think everybody's head's still